Well, this is the short little project that we have at hand right at the moment. Now we are done chopping first cutting, and this is ready for a set of knives. I made the mistake last year and in past years running the knives right down to the point where I could barely get through a cutting. And what happens is once you get down to the point where you have wore the hard surface right down to a minimal amount, you end up losing so much capacity on the chopper that it takes you twice as long to get anything done. So we're going to go ahead and open up this cutter head. Now we had new feed rolls put into this this past winter. These rasp bars were all bent on the old set of rolls, and we had some pretty good sized dents in there. But as you can see, we are in decent shape, better shape this year compared to where we were last year at this point from taking in stones on this new seating. We do have some knives that are knocked back, and what we're going to do is put a new set of knives in it, and then I've got to replace all of the nut bars as well. I haven't done that yet, and we're running into the 5th season here with this chopper. So we'll get the door open and we'll start pulling all these knives, and I can only see a few. Well, I don't have the door open on the knife where the knife sweep is, so I do see some knives knocked back. Now I could go in and readjust them knives and get maybe halfway through second cutting, stop, take a half a day, put a set of knives in it, and then continue on from there. But I can't guarantee that we're going to have a break in second cutting to be able to do that, so we're just going to do it now. Well, these knives are in better shape than I thought. There's a little more hard surface on there than I was originally thinking, but we have a fair number of them that have been knocked back for whatever reason. We've got one here. Oh, we got one there. We've got a problem with this one here. We've got this one here is knocked back a little bit, and the sharpening stone is not hitting on it. We've got one right here that's knocked back. And then this is the shear bar here, so it cuts the material against this shear bar. And if the knife isn't coming into good contact with the shear bar, what happens is it actually starts to draw down. It takes a lot more horsepower to cut with a dull knife. So we're bringing this one knife around. You can see we've got a little bit of a gap there and a larger one right there, so the material is actually wedging itself down in between the knife. It's more or less ripping the material at that point. We've got another one right here that has been knocked back as well. And outside of just readjusting these knives, we've got, we're going to need to do a lot of sharpening here to get them squared back up again. This happened about halfway through chopping, and I just didn't have the time to readjust these. We've got one that's knocked back here, this one, that one, and that one. The next one back is not as bad. This one's knocked back here, and they've all got somewhat of a blunt edge to them. There's another blunt edge there, so we just need to get these out of there. There is, well, we'll show you how much of a hard surface, how much hard surface is left on there. We need to blow all this crap off and just get everything off, get the knife keepers cleaned up here, and get all the new parts back into it. Well, we have all of the knives removed. I've got the backing plate that goes on top of the knife. I've got them over on the bench. I've got most of them cleaned up. I gotta hit a couple more of the wire wheel. what there is in here, and we'll go over to the bench here in a second, there's a nut bar that slides in this back plate here that the cap screws go down through that actually hold the knife in. Now it has the original nut bars in there, and what we want to do is we want to replace them just because the threads could be, they could be slightly stretched, they could be weak, and we don't need to have any of them coming apart, and I feel that we better get them changed out now, and then, you know, we'll put a few more sets of knives in, have to change them out again. But this is the, I think I maybe already talked about it, this is the Duraliner shear bar. This shear bar was $3,000, and it is just about like new here. So we're gonna run over to the bench. I've got all of the knives in this 5-gallon pail here. Now, for the most part, we probably could have got through maybe second cutting with these knives. Here is a new one. Here's the hard surface here. The mistake I've made in the past is I've taken these knives down to about here. And then what happens is you lose so much capacity to the chopper that you're down to a snail's pace chopping. Now, I have filmed this project every time I've done this. I've got a lot of viewers that watch this channel that they know what I'm talking about. So you guys that know what I'm talking about, I'm just doing a hard explanation here so that the viewers that are watching that really don't know about these machines, they can kind of understand what you and I are dealing with every day here. So this knife here is one that got knocked back, and it got knocked back on this side, and for the most part a majority of this other side of the knife was doing all the work, and we're down to a very minimal amount of the hard surface here left. Now, to make this knife true again, you'd have to get it into place and then run the sharpening stone across it so many damn times that this one would have no hard surface left on it anymore, and he would kind of defeat the purpose of the actual knife itself. So that's mainly why we're replacing these. You can see the amount of material that is wore off of that knife there. And for the most part, these knives here that I have picked out are the worst ones, of course. They had gotten knocked back. Should have been something that we should have adjusted earlier on during first cutting here, but it is what it is. So I thought I had a good one in here that was like the best one that I took off. Maybe that's in the trash bucket here. We could probably use this one as an example. We haven't got much left for material really on this knife. There's a little less than maybe half of the material left. But like I said, once you get down to that last 1/8 of an inch, it's too late. And then if you run into a condition where you don't have time to get them knives changed out, you're SOL. This job takes about 6 hours to get it done, to do it correctly. Now this is the nut bar here that we slid out of the back side of that bracket that's welded to the knife drum. They advise these to be changed. I think they advise these to be changed every time you change a set of knives, but that can get a little costly. We do put new bolts in every time, and there's a box of bolts here. I guess they're over in by the door. The bolts that came this time around, they're in a bag of 10 this time. Last time, each bolt was individually wrapped. Such a pain in the ass. So we'll get these cleaned up and start pulling them nut bars out, and then we'll start putting it back together. Well, we have all of the nut bars removed. These are a pain in the butt to get the ones out from the left and the right side, because you got to come through the center, and there's so much buildup and crap in behind there that you got to manipulate it with screwdrivers and the blowgun and everything else. All this stuff on the floor here, plus I swept up some of it and put in the trash can. That came out from what was in this back side here. Now, I have taken the spiral band that comes down in underneath the bottom side of this cutter head, and I've taken the shims out and I've dropped that down. Now I have one row of backing plates already on here. What we need to do now, I have the shear bar motors. These motors here are used to adjust the shear bar into the actual knife itself. What we need to do now is we need to move that shear bar out. We need to get that gapped out so that when we put the new knives on, we can match the knife to the shear bar. Now, if this was not a Dura-lined shear bar, I would have to replace it or flip it over. However, it still has a good edge to it here. It's got a little bit of a wear to it up on this top edge, but it is nothing to be concerned about. We're going to go ahead and just use it the way it is. So what they have is this tool here, and now I've shown this before. Now again, the guys that run these choppers, you guys know all about this stuff. We're just explaining this for the viewers that don't run these choppers. They might be other farmers. They might be just people that aren't in agriculture at all. So that's why I'm explaining this stuff. So what this tool is here, I had to write the measurements on here because this is starting to wear off of the tool. There's a third one, or a second one with a third measurement up in the cab, which we're not going to use that. So we're going to put this foot here against the front side of the shear bar here, and then you take this part of it and you run this back right into the actual drum itself. Now we are hitting the drum with the tip. We're hitting it with the tip. And what we have here is we have about a good 1/4 of an inch gap there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust this out, the shear bar out on both sides here. Now what I've done before, I've cheated and I've used the machine just to retract the shear bar, and when it retracts, you have to shut the machine off quick. You have to check it multiple times because it puts it out at a set amount, and I just wanted to remove the motors this time because I'm not sure that this shear bar is actually in here straight now, which it is not. I'm on the wrong side. Yeah, it is not. So it's quite a bit closer. Well, there's the proper gap. No, it's not closer. It's about the same amount of a gap. We want to get it in place perfectly here. So we'll go ahead and move that out, get this matched, get this shear bar matched to the drum accordingly here, and then we can start putting knives on. This job is basically all downhill from here. It's just, you know, putting parts into place here. So we'll go ahead and get on that. Right on the money.